The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, buddy, he's a macho. Savage, listening. Like TrashTalkRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it to my
wrestling fans who are ready to play. Listen to Trash Talking Radio at Trash Talking Radio.com. You're a tutor from 7 to 10 o'clock. Here's guys like myself, so you gentlemen can come on. Radio show.
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, the Vital Idol tells you it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of Bob, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, classy like trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio. It is Tuesday night. It is the best night of the week. And here we are. We're back again. And just when we thought we were canceled. Yeah.
Just when we thought we were out of here.
Just when we thought it was safe to join the airwaves again, we're here. So, yeah. Hey, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good.
Yeah?
Except I have a boot on. And it's not a cowboy boot.
Oh, well. You should get the matching pair. What'd you do to your foot?
I have no idea what. Wednesday a week ago, and woke up and it was sore. Started walking on it, and got worse and worse and worse. Went and got X-rays, and I had a broken bone in my foot.
And you don't remember breaking it?
And I don't remember breaking it.
Jeez. Not getting old stuff, I'm telling you. Jeez.
I guess it's a stress fracture, is what I guess. But the good news is that it's a north-south break. If it would have been an east-west break, or would have required surgery.
Oh man.
So
Well,
I missed the surgery.
that's a good thing. That is a good thing. I can kind of relate. I've had my share of injuries. Like I was saying that it's funny that after being in wrestling for as long as I was, I really only got messed up. I think I broke my wrist once. I broke my finger. Let's see, this finger. As you can see, it's not exactly straight. That's the only injuries I had pretty much during the whole time I was in wrestling. But yet, when I went to a set in February or March, when I went to a set, I fell. When I was leaving the house, I fell. And I messed my hip up. And to this day, 2 months later, March, April, May. Yeah, 2 months later, I'm still in a lot of pain with my hip. It's ridiculous. This getting old stuff. I'm not up for it. I want to get young again. That's it.
Don't get old. It's the secret to life.
That's
Don't
it.
get old.
Yeah. Well, someone should have told me that before I went and got old. I don't know. But, it is what it is, and not much we can do about that. We got a good show today. We got things that I'm looking at here. I don't know what you have on tap, but I've got some pretty good stuff. Make sure. Okay, yeah, you're not covered up. Okay. We'll talk about the Cardinal a little bit. Or the Pope. I'm sorry, the Pope, not the Cardinal. We'll talk about another person who died, unfortunately. I hate when that happens. That's someone I knew, actually. I knew him. I wasn't a good friend of his or anything, but I wasn't an enemy of his either. But he didn't respect me, but I respected him. It's one of those kind of things. We're also going to talk about, I got to remember what it, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about what's going on with Disney, Smokey Robinson, Weight Watchers. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get right into it. The person I want to talk about that just died was is a legend in wrestling. I've seen him perform so many times. And I met him, I was in a show with him in Philadelphia. And people know him as Sabu. And he's the person that we're going to talk about first. So we did a tribute to them. Also, I got a game to play. But we'll play it after this video. Because Sabu's involved in this game. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay. Well, now you will.
Obituary, Ramon Sabu, the suicidal, homicidal, death-defying icon of hardcore wrestling. Terry Blank, known to wrestling fans worldwide as Sabu, passed away on May 11, 2025, at the age of 60. A pioneer of the hardcore wrestling style, Sabu's career spanned over 4 decades, leaving an indelible mark on the sport. Born on December 12, 1964, Sabu was trained by his uncle, Ed Farhat, better known as the Original Sheik. He debuted in 1985 and quickly gained notoriety for his tireless maneuvers and willingness to endure extreme physical punishment. His tenure in Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, solidified his status as a hardcore legend when he became a 2-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion and achieved the ECW Triple Crown. Sabu's influence extended beyond ECW, with notable stints in Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling, and WWE. His accolades include the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and the FTW Heavyweight Championship. In 1995, Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him number 5 among the top 500 singles wrestlers. Despite his brief WWE tenure, where his extreme style was deemed too dangerous, Sabu's legacy endured. He was inducted into the Hardcore Hall of Fame in 2009 and the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2024. Sabu's final match occurred on April 18, 2025, at Game Changer Wrestling's Joey Janela's Spring Break 9, where he secured a victory against Joey Janela. His passing, less than a month later, prompted an outpouring of tributes from the wrestling community, honoring his contributions and fearless spirit. Sabu's legacy as a trailblazer in hardcore wrestling will continue to inspire future generations. His commitment to pushing the boundaries of the sport has left an enduring impact on professional wrestling.
He was only 64. Oh no, he was only 60. He was only 60. I didn't think he'd ever die. That guy, he took punishment after punishment and just kept going, you know. He was definitely
Very hardcore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, you can only do hardcore for so long, and then you're going to end up paying for it. And he ended up paying it. I mean, his body was definitely had a lot of bumps and grinds on it. But he was one of the old school guys. You had to prove yourself to be worthy of him. And yeah, he was interesting. He was one of my favorite guys to watch, though, even though because he just did some just crazy stuff. I think it was him. Yeah, one of my favorite matches was him and Cactus Jack at Hamburg Fieldhouse in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. They used to do all the WWF or WWWF tapings in the Fieldhouse, so it's a legendary arena, and you know, it was just cool to see them there. I actually got to work in that building too. It was kind of cool, but yeah, it's a shame to see him die at such a young. He retired 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, like I think 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and I just think that I don't know what he died from. I don't know if it was an overdose, and I don't know what killed him, but I would imagine he couldn't handle being a non-wrestler. And the other thing was his girlfriend died of COVID in 2021, 2022, somewhere around there, and that really messed him up too. So it was just, it was a shame. But the game I have, this is a fun game. Let me think where I put it. Let's see, how about here? All right, we'll go here and we'll duplicate this tab. And we will go back. Oops, I just duplicated it and I deleted it. That was good. Duplicate this tab. This game is a game that is created this year, and it's called, let's see, I don't know if I have a name for the game. It's called How Many, okay, here, it's called How Many, who got the most, wait a minute, hold on, let me open the tab. All right, so right here, obituary. It's the obituary game. These are all the people who died in 2025 that we have covered. So, what you got to do, and anyone that wants to play along, I can never let something stand. I always got to make it more fun. There's a list of in order of all the people that have died. Roberta Flack, she was the first one of the year. Gene Hackman, George Foreman, Jay North, Val Kilmer, Pope Francis, Ruth Buzzy, and Sabu. I need them in order, not in order of death, but in order of how many people watched it.
Pope Francis #1.
You say that's number one. Let me put a number one next to Pope Francis. Okay, so that's one. Okay.
Gene Hackman #2.
Gene Hackman, number two. All right.
George Foreman 3.
George Foreman, 3. Okay.
Kilmer 4.
Kilmer is 4. Okay.
Roberta's 5.
Roberta is 5. All right.
Buzzy's 6.
Buzzy is 6.
And then Jay 7.
Jay is 7.
And the only reason Sabu is 8 is because he just died.
All right. I am going to unveil the answers. I think. How do I unhide? Okay, unhide. The answer is, here is the true, the answer is yours is E. This is the real one. Number 1 is George Foreman at 856. Number 2 is Sabu at 139 in 1 day, or in 2 days. In 2 days. Number 3 is wait a minute, hold on. Number 3 is Gene Hackman. Number 4 is Ruth Buzzy. Number 5 is Roberta Flack. Number 6 is Val Kilmer. Number 7 is Jay North, and number 8 is Pope Francis. Believe it or not, the Pope comes in last. I was shocked that this was the numbers. When I looked up the numbers, I said, I don't know what this is going to come out as, but you know. Now, in all fairness to the people 1 through, well, I can't count 1 because number 1, he won by a landslide. But I will tell you, within the past 2 months, I started putting tags on things because I started learning how to use tags. I put tags in before, but I let AI choose my tags for the past 2 months. So, in all fairness, I think the people with the better tags got the better coverage. But I thought it was a kind of an interesting game because it really showed. You got Roberta Flack was dead on. You did that one dead on. Hackman, you were off by 1. I mean, you weren't that far off. It was just some of them were a surprise. I was surprised Sabu had so many so quickly. But when I did Bray Wyatt, he got 16,000 shots, 16,000 hits. I don't even know what he's at right now, but that was back in, he died a couple of years ago, but he got all those hits within a couple months. So I think Sabu's going to be up there with Bray Wyatt. But I found it interesting, you know, just kind of a little side thing. And I thought Pope Francis would have done better because he had tags and everything. I don't know why he did. Our audience didn't seem to really do well with him. And I was really shocked. I really thought we would pick up a lot of people with him. Because, I mean, obviously, he's probably the best known out of everybody. But it seems like we didn't get a lot of traction out of that. So, Sabu, when I say 139, that was last night. As of today, he's at 195. So actually, he moved up the rankings. So 195 would have put him. Well, he was already at number 2, so that put him way above everybody else. He's just climbing. People just loved him, and he was a cult figure. I mean, everyone liked him. I see we got Ann up there. Hi there, Ann. Hi, Christine. Hi, Trish. So, yeah, I just I'm really bummed about him dying at such a young age. But his body, he really looked like he was old. I mean, the scars all over his body from the hardcore matches that he did and stuff. Yeah, he didn't do his body any service. But I mean, he got to travel the world and he got to do the things he wanted to do. That there's something to be said for that. I got to travel, but not nearly what he did. He traveled all over the world. I traveled the East Coast. So, just, and he made money. I didn't make any money. So, that makes a big difference there, too. And there was a misspelling on his obituary. I put hardcore, I put hardcore, whatever I did, I put, I just did a misspelling, and I wasn't going to change it because I didn't want to screw up the stats on this. But yeah, it's sad. He was definitely old school though. He believed in keeping the audience believing everything was real, and he was a heck of a guy. All right, birthdays. We only got a couple. Mr. Beast is the first one. He's a YouTuber who is very controversial and does all kinds of weird things. You probably don't know who he is.
Probably not.
I do have pictures of him. There he is. This guy here. I'm not going to make you guess who he is, but he's 27. Stephen Amell. He was Green Arrow on the WB Arrow. He also had a show called Heels. I love that show. That show was about wrestling, pro wrestling. So you'd think I would like that show. I did like that show. Mick Foley was on it, and CM Punk was on it, and he actually did a good job on that show. He made you believe he was a wrestler. That was one of my favorite shows. And then he was on Suits LA, and I heard they canceled that one already. But he was cool. The thing about him that I really like is that he was on American Ninja Warrior. They had a celebrity version, and they donated a lot of money to charity if you could do the stunt, whatever it was. And like all these guys were going through, and they were helping him get through the stunts. He got on the stunts. He didn't need any help. You take a look at this body. This guy stays in shape, and he did his whole event with no help. So that was cool. He's like one of my favorite guys out there now, because it's a legit guy and actually could do the American Ninja Warrior stuff, and I think that's pretty impressive. Anyway, you probably don't. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, he's 44. Melissa Gilbert, do you know who she is?
Oh no, let me see the picture.
Little House on the Prairie.
Okay.
This girl.
69.
You're a little off. 61. I didn't know because I didn't watch that show. I wasn't really sure. But then there's Candice Bergen. There she is.
She's 75.
You're almost on the nose. 79. Then we got Billy Joel.
He's 89.
Ooh. Not quite. 76. But Robert Pattinson. I don't know if you know him or not. He was the last Batman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of figured you didn't because I didn't know who he was till then either. But if you were like into the vampire stuff, he was that vampire show that's on the air or whatever. He was in that, I think. Anyway, he's 39. Harvey Keitel. He's the guy. If you remember, when we were growing up, well, we were probably adults by then. When we were younger, let's put it that way, he was the first guy to show his butt on TV. He was at Police Blues? What was it? It was Blue. It was Blue something. The Shield. No, it wasn't The Shield. It was Blue. I don't know. Anybody up there know?
Something Street Blues.
Yeah, Hill Street Blues. Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street.
Yeah, he showed his butt on TV, and that was like, oh, that was so bad. You can't do that. Now, that's who it is. Any guess?
He's in his 70s.
86.
86.
Stephen Colbert.
Stephen is, he's 57.
You know, I didn't know him. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know how old he was. He's 61. So you're within the 5. Samantha Morton, you probably don't know because you don't watch Walking Dead, but she was the evil. She's also on. Not only is she was on Walking Dead, but she also was on Broadway. She's a Broadway actress. You probably don't. You don't watch Walking Dead, do you?
No.
Okay. She's 48. And lastly, but not leastly, you'll know this one. Dennis Rodman.
Dennis has got to be in his 50s now, 55.
He's 64.
64.
64. He sure doesn't look 64 to me, but I mean, how could you tell? Because he wears the weirdest hair and stuff and all that. But he had a heck of a career. So that's the birthdays. Get them out of the way. Okay, let's get rid of these. And the picture of the day, I think you'll appreciate this. Uh-oh, where's it? All right, this is a this is a guy from Germany who tried to name all 50 states. Pennsylvania says I crave cereal. This is Minnesota. This is Wisconsin. This is Texas too. This is North. That's it, and that's Dakota. This also feels like Ohio. This is Ohio. Any of these? These 3. Virginia, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, Take Me Home, Ohio, Georgia, or George, no, just George. Ohio. This guy was fixated on Ohio. There's Florida, probably. There's West Georgia, or West George. This is South. He's 100% sure this is Texas. That's Kansas, or Kansas. Kansas. That's New Jersey, New Mexico, and New York are there. You know, I think it's funny is this guy's in Germany. Okay, if I had to name things in Germany, I wouldn't even have a clue. And the United States is a lot more complicated than Germany. So I give him a thumbs up because he got California right. He got a couple right. But for some reason he was obsessed with Ohio and didn't see. He almost had it because he did kind of. He said any one of these, but then he said this also feels like Ohio. Then he said Oreo. He must have been hungry. Wish this was Wyoming. And this is a square. They have a square. And he did get. No, he didn't. Did he get? No, that's Nevada. This is definitely Ohio here. So I think it's funny because, like I said, I know I couldn't do it, but you know, I kind of thought that maybe other people would be more obsessed with our country than us. So that was funny. All right. So we're done with this. Now let's go back to this. Disney plans a new theme park. Where do you think it's going to be?
going to be in Dubai.
As a matter of fact, here we go. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Okay.
Most tech-forward resort yet. Somehow I just don't feel like Mickey Mouse should be over there. I don't know. I thought Mickey Mouse was American. But would I go to it? If it wasn't Abu Dhabi, probably. I don't think I want to go over there, though. It's crazy, though. Think about Walt Disney. The first thing you think of is America, you know? But I guess they have it. They've had it in other places, too, didn't they? Don't they have one in, I don't know, China or something?
I think they have one in Japan.
Yeah, something. Says Walt Disney Company is bringing new Disney park and resort to Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates. The new destination will be the company's 7th global resort and will be the first Middle East, with the Disney CEO Bob Iger framing it as an authentically Disney and distinctly theirs. Yeah, I guess I was right. They did. Well, I mean, I guess we were both right. They did have some other ones. Do they list where the other ones are? No, they don't. They just talk about all the things you're going to do to it. I just think it's kind of interesting. That means that Mickey Mouse is going to have to speak a different language. This one, see, they're going to spend $60 billion in the theme park expansion over the next decade. That's a lot of money. Okay, I've got to get.
Well, Abu Dhabi is central to a lot of places.
Okay.
It will draw millions to the park.
Well, gotta draw a bunch, because to make up that $60 billion over that period of time, gonna have to have a lot of people going through there. But then again, it depends what they charge for admission too. So, all right, now get rid of these. All right, and then get rid of this. So if you remember, we talked maybe a month or so ago about Comcast splitting some of their channels off. Their spin-off company is now called Versant. It's a new venture, first unveiled last year. It'll include most of Comcast TV assets, which include USA, Sci-Fi, E! Entertainment, CNBC, MSNBC, Oxygen, and Golf Channel, as well as digital businesses like Fandango and Rotten Tomatoes. Versant will be led by CEO Mark Lazarus, CFO and COO Anand Kinney, Chairman David Novak, and senior executives largely plucked by the ranks of NBC Universal. So, yeah, they talked about that for a while. I thought they were going to try and sell it off. I guess they just split it off instead. So, yeah, I don't know. The only channels that I think the Sci-Fi and the USA are probably the big assets there. Although CNBC and MSNBC probably do a lot of business.
They have a niche.
Yeah. So it's,
Hey, back to Disney for a second.
Yeah.
They have a Disney in Paris, Shanghai, Tokyo, Hong Kong, of course, 2 in the United States.
oh yeah. I guess I knew that. I knew some of those. Yeah. Okay. Smokey Robinson is in trouble. Apparently, he's getting the Me Too stuff. There are 4 women who worked with Smokey Robinson as housekeepers. They were forced to resign due to Robinson's repeated sexual assaults and sexual harassment. Jeez. I mean, is it the generation? Or are these people...
I think that's part of it. I also think you get to be so famous that you think you're invincible.
Oh, maybe. I would think that people would be a little more careful after the stuff that some of these people went through, and I don't know. It's weird to think about, but because I mean, especially if Weinstein gets out because of the Me Too movement, because they say that he got stuck in that because of the everybody saying Me Too. I don't know that I believe that, but it's a good defense. In the complaint filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, 4 anonymous women accused Robinson of raping them at several of his residences, most primarily at his home in Chatsworth, California. The listed causes of action include negligence, sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, and a hostile work environment. I wonder how old he is. He's got to be getting up there. I wonder if it says. Let's see. Of course, he denies it. I don't know. I just don't know. It's so weird to think that these guys are, I mean, I guess because they're stars, they think they can get away with things. But
that's what I think a lot of it is.
And the generation that they came from, they probably got whatever they wanted whenever they wanted it. So, I don't know. Robinson says it's an ugly method of trying to extract money. Robinson has denied the false allegations of sexual assault after the 4 women filed a lawsuit against the Motown singer on Tuesday. In a statement shared with Robinson's lawyer, Christopher Frost, affirmed he was responding on behalf of his client, Smokey and Frances Robinson, adding the evidence will show that this is simply an ugly method to try and extract money from an 85-year-old American icon. See, why didn't they do it when he was younger? I mean, he can't be just all of a sudden an 85-year-old horny guy. Chances are he did this when he was 40, 50, 60. I doubt that he did it when he was 70 or 80. He may have. I mean, I don't know. But I would just think that, I don't know. That's a lot of money. They want to get $50 million to be exact. It's kind of a strange number to come up with. So, so weird.
Well, it could be a case of people just want money.
Yeah. And if that's the case, those people need to be prosecuted. All right, next. Amazon unveils Vulcan. Do you know what Vulcan is?
Yeah.
It is an AI-powered warehouse robot equipped with a sense of touch. The company says it will operate alongside workers and handle about 75% of the company's products. You know, when I used to have a job, I worked for a computer distributor, a wholesale manufacturing distributor, and the technology in that warehouse was so amazing. I mean, you would pull a box, put it on the conveyor belt, it would go down the conveyor belt, it would be scanned by itself, then it would know which turns to take, depending how big and how heavy the box was. And it touched very few hands once it left the shelf. This will eliminate manual picking it up off the shelf. I would imagine this is going to pick it up from the shelf, put it on the conveyor belt, have it go through all the scans and everything. The technology is just freaking amazing. I can't even begin to explain it because it was over my head. I didn't really spend any time in the warehouse. I spent time selling the stuff, not moving the stuff. But when I was in that warehouse, I learned a lot of stuff because they had us tour after they put this new stuff in. And it would do there'd be multiple levels of these conveyor belts depending where it was going to go in the country, or what kind of product it was, or what kind of and the boxes would be labeled as they're going down the conveyor belt with the end user's name and stuff like that. It's just amazing what kind of technology is being used in the distribution market. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. Brings me back to the days when I used to work. And I'm happy I don't have to. Although, if these scammers keep nailing me, I may have to go back to work to pay for the bills that they're creating. Weight Watchers is in the news. Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, this is scary. Weight Watchers files for Chapter 11. There must be too many skinny people out there now. They don't have any. They don't have any work. Boy, oh boy! I remember Weight Watchers, man. People used to think that was the way to lose weight, and that was. Didn't Oprah buy into that or something?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Seems to me she was part of that. Weight Watchers announced Tuesday it has filed for bankruptcy in an effort to bolster its financial position and better serve millions of members around the world. The company, now known as WW International, they've cut down the weight of their name to WW. Said on May 6th, the bankruptcy will eliminate over $1 billion in debt from the company's balance sheet and position Weight Watchers for long-term growth and success. I think.
While scurrying its creditors.
Yeah, well, that's the American way. I want to know, is Oprah part of Weight Watchers? Seems to me she is. She stepped down from the company in 2024. Her decision was reportedly driven by her use of weight loss medication and desire to avoid any perceived conflict of interest. She got out in time. Wow. I think it's her fault. It's her fault they're in trouble. Wow, that's really. Let's see if she still owns any stock. As of, let's see here, it's as of 2022. So she must have, didn't she drop down? Yeah, 2023. She dropped out at 2023. Why is it? I don't know. Anyway, she could have bailed them out. That's her. Okay, next. I guess I can eliminate the next one because that was the thing about the conclave, but the conclave found their person, so I guess that doesn't matter anymore. What was that one? What was that one? That's not that important. Okay, here we go. I should let you talk about this more than me. Habemus Papam. What's that mean to you?
I don't know.
Chicago native Cardinal Robert Prevost was elected head of the Roman Catholic Church, becoming the first U.S. citizen to hold the office. 69-year-old who is a citizen of Peru selected Leo the 14th as his. Is that papal? papal name, a nod towards the late 19th century Pope Leo XIII, known for opening the church to modernity and emphasizing worker rights. What do you know about him?
He is a centrist. He's into social justice, but he's also traditionalist in doctrine. So
Do we like him?
he has little negatives.
Okay,
He's well liked,
that's a good thing.
and yeah, he's not going to rock the boat. I don't think too much.
How's he stand on equal rights and stuff?
He is wants to reach out to the gay and lesbian community. But he isn't going to do gay marriage.
Okay,
That's a step too far.
yeah,
And women as deacons, that's another question, and I don't have an answer for that. But the liberals in the church want women as deacons. They're not ready to get women as priests, but they want women as deacons. Deacons do a lot of the work in church.
okay,
They assist the priests.
okay,
And many Catholics would like to see women in those positions.
okay.
And I don't know if Leo is going to go that far. But he's into migrants and the poor. He really is focused on the poor,
Okay.
which
All
is an honorable thing.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that he's the first U.S. citizen to hold the office.
Chicago, and he's a White Sox fan.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Yeah, because they have pictures of him at the World Series in 2005.
Okay.
So he's an American. He's a Republican. It doesn't mean he's a Trumper, but he's a Republican.
Okay.
So I don't know if he and Trump are going to get along. With Trump's stand on immigration, I don't know if they're going to get along.
Okay.
So from the Catholic friends I have, they are not disappointed.
Okay.
They're not elated, but they're not disappointed.
They could have made a worse choice, is what you're saying.
Yes. And what they wanted was they wanted the guy. Many Catholics wanted the cardinal from Africa.
Okay. Yeah, I know, because that's what we talked about.
Right. And that was the number one choice among Catholics.
Okay.
But they didn't go there.
Okay.
Again, they couldn't cross the color line. Now, he, interesting enough, he has black in his genetics.
Okay.
Moroccan, I believe. Don't quote me. But one of his either maternal grandfather or his paternal grandfather was, I think, Moroccan. I could be wrong in that, but I know it's somewhere in line that he's mixed.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 25% or what it is, but he has African blood in him.
All right. Well, they're at least gotten some Africa into them. Then maybe this is the next step.
Well, I think with the Catholic Church, it's slow moving. It's like a glacier. If change comes very slowly to the Catholic Church.
What seems to me the weird thing about this is that he's 69 now, so
he's young.
I know, but for a pope he's young, but for a person he's not. So
I mean, he could be pope for 2 decades.
Okay, I guess I would think that they would probably. I mean, I guess they don't want to go too young because then they'll get too many new things, and they know at least if they stay fairly up there, they're going to have some changes, but not drastic changes. So maybe that's it. I don't know.
They want someone very accomplished, and he's very accomplished.
Okay.
He was Secretary of State in the Vatican,
Huh.
which is actually the second most important job in Rome.
Okay. He looks like the guy. He looks like the kid that was beat up in school, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know, but I just know that he was his two brothers, and they have been on every news show in the country.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out who he is. Since he's an American, you know, the American news media is fascinated by him.
Yeah.
But they don't get him because he's Catholic and he's religious, very religious. So, of course, the news media doesn't understand that. But they're interested in his politics. That's what they're interested in.
Yeah.
Will he reform the church? Will he open it up to women? Will he open it up to gays and lesbians? Will he open it up to transgender? You know, will he do that?
Yeah.
Will he move the church in that direction? And nobody really knows.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just it's with a new person and you don't have a clue because you don't know who he is. It's really hard to say. So yeah, I find that very interesting that we don't know what we're. It's kind of like going to the movies. You don't know if it's going to be a good movie or not until it starts, and maybe you don't know till halfway through the movie. Maybe there's a surprise ending, and maybe there'll be some revelations, or something coming out of it that we don't see.
His first speeches, he has talked about God's love and how we should be loving each other. He is against war, I know that, and he wants people to start loving each other and quit this stupid political.
I agree with that.
Animosity.
Okay, I like him already.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that's naive. I'm not saying that at all. But it's pie in the sky because people just hate each other.
But if we have the majority of people that do the right thing, that's something. I mean, I don't know. I am so frustrated by people that are like okay, it's not exactly the same, but it's like the Tesla hate. The Tesla hate is real. Some people think that we're exaggerating over Tesla hate, but people really do hate people with Teslas for some reason. And it happened before Elon became part of the cabinet. So there is a true hatred for things. There's certain people that cannot, they must hate their lives so much that they got to make other people's lives miserable. And see, that's something I've never really understood because, you know, I came up in a situation where I should theoretically hate everyone because of the way I was treated when I was younger. I don't. I really don't hate everybody. But I would have that right to hate people because of the way I was brought up. But I don't. But there's people that just, their lives must be so miserable that you could give them the world and they would still hate you. And I just find, you know, there's a channel on YouTube called Wham Bam Tesla Cam. And it's about people capturing stuff on their Tesla's cameras. Usually it's when they're driving, but a lot of them are just parked. And then people come up and they abuse their car. And it's just, you know, it's like when I think about that, I think, well, what? These are people you don't even know. And and this is before Elon. Some of the stuff was before Elon. It was just people coming up and keying your car, or they'll tailgate you and then they'll zoom ahead of you and then they'll brake check you just to be jerks. You know, but that's just the Tesla hate. But I mean, then there's other people that just hate people just because of their color, just because of their religion, just because of their whatever it is.
Or finances.
Yeah, it just. I just think it's ridiculous.
Here, Trump wanted to put a surcharge on people making over 250 million, $2,500,000.
Okay.
And the Democrats hated it. So haven't they been talking about millionaire taxes?
Okay.
See, there's just Trump hate. No
Yeah.
matter what Trump says or does.
Yeah.
It's
And
wrong.
we're going to talk about this a little bit more as we got my next article. We're going to talk. Well, actually, we can talk about this now. Good lead-in, perfect lead-in. The U.S.-UK deal that Trump brokered. The U.S. and UK announced a framework for a trade deal yesterday, the largest step towards a potential trade agreement since Donald Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on U.S. trading partners. The deal pending finalization focused on tariff relief for autos, steel, and select industrial goods. The U.S. is the UK's largest trading partner, accounting for over 17% of the UK trade, with total trade between the two nations roughly. How much do you think between the two nations? How much money do you think?
150 billion.
$417 billion, valued at $417 billion. A 10% base tariff on many of the UK imports still remain, but tariffs on UK car imports to the US will drop to 27.5% to 10% for up to 100,000 vehicles annually, and tariffs on steel and aluminum will be eliminated. In return, the UK will ease trade barriers on US beef and ethanol, keeping its digital services tax on major tech giants. And so that's the deal that people hate Trump so much, but they don't see this because they're used to business as it was. And even though the business wasn't necessarily the best business, it was comfortable. And I'll tell you, I'm very uncomfortable with a lot of the things he's doing, but I'm open to it. He's making a lot of drastic changes that could go bad. And he could be either the best president ever or the worst president ever.
He runs the risk of being in trouble. You know about the deal he made with China over the weekend.
I don't have the facts. What can you tell us about it?
Well,
I think I might have it. Hold on, I might have it. Let me check here. I just remembered that I did. I may have had it. I may have grabbed it. Let's see here. Yes, here it is. 90-day. Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay, let me bring that up so we can talk about it. Yeah, that I did have that. U.S. and China agreed to a 90-day truce or 90-day pause on most tariffs yesterday. Well, come on, open up. Come on. There we go. All right. So China slashed. Oh, come on. Stupid little things. Let's see here. It says here Donald Trump cuts tariffs to 30% while China slashes its levies to 10%. Now they have 90 days to do a deal. And I'll tell you, from a business owner standpoint, those tariffs would have killed my one business, the guitar business. We would not have been anywhere competitive with the guitars. They would have killed us. China and the United States have agreed to slash punitive tariffs against each other. Now, you told me that China can't really survive without us.
Correct.
And we can't survive without them.
Correct.
So it's good that they're finally.
We need each other.
Yes. So our cut will be from 145% to 30%, and their cut will be from 125 to 10. I
Now,
mean,
Trump would have cut it to 10, except the 20% is there because of fentanyl production.
Okay.
And China has agreed to look at stopping the precursor to fentanyl from shipping it to the cartels in Mexico.
Okay.
So they're looking at that, and then it'll go down to 10%.
Okay.
But they were looking at laying off 16 million people from their families.
That's a lot of people.
Each other. We need each other.
Yes.
Our economies need each other.
And all Trump is doing is trying to level the playing field a little bit.
Right.
And make it so that we can make a little more money than what we were making. So, and make it a little more, fair. So, I'm okay with that. And it's funny how the one side's just so scared of this, and I'm a little scared of it. But like you said, that we need each other. We have to make a deal.
How are your stocks doing?
My Tesla stock is starting to climb again, and it's making me happy because I'm making money again, and I like to make money. I have it. Let's see here. Here we go. The current one is 334.07. Now, considering we were down at like 180 for a while, and I was losing money, we're back up. We're not as good as we were. We were at 600, like around 600 a while. For
most 401ks have rebounded.
Yeah, and that'll shut people up too. So because everybody was complaining that and a lot of people that were sabotaging the Tesla stock didn't realize that Tesla was in their portfolio if they have any kind of retirement. So maybe some people smartened up and, haven't heard as many issues. But there's still issues out there. So, even NVIDIA's back up. Amazon's going back up. BYD is dropping, which that's the Chinese stock. So everything's going back to where it was. Now, if I get my stock back up there to where I can make 120,000 like I did last time, where I could have made 120,000, I'm selling this time. I don't care if it goes up. It keeps climbing till I can't see anymore. I just want it to be. I'm getting out. If I get a chance to get out, I'm getting out. But I don't want to get out yet because I think we're going to grow a lot. So, and besides, I'm not ready to buy my car yet. So.
Well, see, and Japan's supposed to be coming online, and the EU is supposed to be coming online. The major 20 or 30 economies that we need are all negotiating right now with the Trump administration.
Good.
This could really be a good thing.
I think it will.
It's scary because no one's had the guts to do it.
Right. Man, he's got.
But it may work out okay.
I'm telling you, Trump has the biggest balls of anyone I know. I don't know anyone that would have done this. No politician. No politician would do this. I don't care who you said would have done it. I don't think there's anybody that would have done that. I don't think anybody had the guts to do what he's doing. And all the haters, they can hate all they want. They can hate all they want, but if he shows an improvement, I mean, everybody wanted an improvement 2 weeks after he was in office. I knew that wasn't realistic, but this is a long-term solution. This isn't a short-term thing. So it's going to take a little bit of time and patience to see this turn into what it's going to turn into, and everybody will win. We're all going to win. So if people just
that's the kind of deals that Trump likes.
Yes.
Deals that both people win.
Right. And he also had something to do with the truce,
Iran. Not Iran.
Pakistan and India. Yeah, I don't see.
See, if that would have been Biden, Biden would have the Nobel Peace Prize by now.
Right.
But because it's Trump, no one's going to give it to him
I really,
because of Trump derangement syndrome.
and it's such a shame because he is working hard and he's sticking to his guns. I gotta say, I admire a person that sticks to their guns that bad when everyone's on your case and you're the only one that believes it's going to happen. Man, he sticks to his guns. I definitely.
Then there's the downside. In Canada, the Conservatives were supposed to win, but Trump was saying we want to make it the 51st state.
Yeah.
And all Canada got their back up and voted the Liberals back in. The Liberals have almost bankrupt Canada, and so but they wanted it, all because Trump doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut.
Right. I think somebody should have a buzzer, and it shocks him.
Someone has a choker.
They should put a shock collar on him and just shut up. But he's a real businessman, and that's the first real businessman we've ever had in office. So
we've always had politicians, and they've never created anything. I'm going to be looking for businessmen from now on, not politicians.
But the problem is, who else is going to step up like this? I don't know. I hope it continues to go this way. And this is the first year. This is the first, a little over, 120 days or whatever?
Yeah, it's not that long.
And yet he's really accomplished more than a lot of presidents have accomplished ever.
He's done more than Biden did in 4 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We'll see. Trump's not going to win everything.
No, but he knows that. He knows that. He's not dumb enough to think that that he's going to win everything. But he realizes that if he puts enough smoke screens out there, he's going to win what he needs to win. So, I admire the fact that he sticks to his guns. I don't always agree with what he has. I don't like the fact that he's getting trans people out of the military and stuff like that. I think that's a wrong move.
Well, that may not happen. The courts have ruled against it.
Well, I definitely don't agree with everything he's doing, but I agree with saving the country. And, he's the first guy that may actually leave office with the deficit smaller than what he got in. So let's see. Let's see if he does it. So, all right. All right, so we got anything else to talk about that truce?
Well, this has been brewing for 40 years. And he has brought them to the table. I mean, it's a huge achievement. It's not talked about, but it's incredible what he accomplished what he and Rubio and J.D. Vance accomplished in a weekend.
Yeah.
Because each country, both Pakistan and India, both have over 100 nukes apiece. And they were bringing their forces to the border. This was going to escalate to a full-scale war. And Trump and his team stopped that.
Jeez.
I mean, it is a big, big deal.
That's crazy stuff.
Well, most Americans don't care about it. But and Trump even said, "I don't care. It doesn't affect us," but it does.
Yeah.
He was just blowing off steam again.
Right. Well, it also says Trump visits Gulf states. Trump is in Saudi Arabia today. I don't know if that was today that I wrote that or I copied that, but
he is in Saudi Arabia today.
The first of 3 stops in the Middle East. The visit marks Trump's first overseas trip for the second term, excluding a visit to Italy earlier this month to attend the late Pope Francis' funeral. Trump prioritized Saudi Arabia for his first foreign trip last term as well, breaking with the past presidents who prioritized trips to Europe and North America. In his first term, his interest in the Middle East helped lead the Abraham Accords. This visit, he'll emphasize economic ties. A U.S.-Saudi investment summit will reportedly include top executives from NVIDIA, Palantir, Citigroup, Blackstone, and Uber. Trump visits Qatar tomorrow, followed by the United Arab Emirates. How do you pronounce that? Emirates. Okay.
Okay, here's what's going on. Saudi Arabia, Trump wants them as part of the Abraham Accords. That's where Middle Eastern countries recognize Israel, right?
Okay.
Okay. He did it with a couple countries that nobody thought would ever do it.
Okay.
Trump was extremely successful. Biden never followed up on it.
Okay.
He should have, but he didn't. Okay. The other thing is that Saudi Arabia wants nuclear energy in their country. They want it. If Iran gets a nuke, they want a nuke. And they want AI technology.
Okay.
They have just purchased 105 military planes from Boeing and civilian aircraft. $600 billion they're investing in the United States. Trump wants to come home with $1 trillion of investments from those three.
1.4 trillion.
Anything about the plane?
Wow. That's crazy.
This is big.
It is.
Trump's playing in the big leagues.
He is.
Now, do you have anything about the plane controversy?
The plane controversy. I have. I don't have anything.
Air Force One?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait. Oh no. Do it. Wait a minute. Hold. Let me look at. Let me check. I know what you're talking about. Let me see. I don't think I do. I think I figured you would say something about it, so I didn't put it on my stuff. So talk about the plane con. I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah.
Right. In his first term, he ordered a new Air Force One. The Air Force One that he's in now is 40 years old.
Oh wow.
And they needed an updated plane.
I would hope so.
Right. So Boeing is doing it. Boeing has dragged its feet. Their cost overruns, and they're behind. He should have had the plane by now.
Yeah.
Biden should have had the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. So Boeing is just they're behind.
They suck.
Okay. So the United Arab Emirates is going to give Trump.
Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, now I understand.
For a king, it's all gold inside.
Oh wow.
And Trump loves gold.
Of course he does. So do I.
And they're giving him the plane, and they're giving it to him for Air Force One. And then when he's done with his presidency, it's going to go to his library.
Huh.
The city is parked outside his library. Okay. Here's the problem, though. There are 3 laws on the books of the United States about foreign gifts from kings, princes, and foreign states. Because of bribery, it looks like bribery.
Yeah, I can understand that. I see the point. I see the reason why that would be a problem.
Perception. It may not be bribery, but the perception is.
Yes.
It could be.
What do you think about that?
I think Trump wants a gold flush plane fit for a king because I think he thinks he deserves it.
Well, I think he feels he is a king.
Yes.
He's not my king.
I think his ego. He said, "I'd be a fool to turn this down."
But can they impeach him if he takes it?
Well, they're going to impeach him anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, but you know. They already filed articles of impeachment against him.
Yeah.
But some Republicans don't like it because of the way it looks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see. I mean, but before it's like he doesn't get a salary, does he? He's never.
Yeah, I think it's 460,000 a year.
Yeah, but he doesn't take that. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He donates it all.
Yeah. It's not like he's getting. It's not like he doesn't. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I don't have.
Well, Bowie needs to get his butt here and get him a new plane.
Right.
Then this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Because he should be riding around in 40-year-old aircraft.
Right. Especially since we've had a lot of air issues lately.
Yeah.
And my friend said the reason for that is that they're all old planes. All the planes in the air are old.
And the computer systems are still floppy disks.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I really think either our government should.
Copper wire communication.
Yeah.
Not fiber optics. It's copper wire, and it's a floppy disk driven computer system.
What a sad situation.
And so what Trump is doing is he wants billions of dollars right now up front, not a couple billion this year and a couple billion next year and a couple billion the year after that. He wants the whole ball of wax now so that he can get this done in 3 years.
Jeez.
Update the entire system all across the United States all at once.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, as long as I can't believe they're using a 40-year-old plane for the president.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
These planes have to have advanced radar. They have to have anti-missile technology. They have to have mid-air refueling. I mean, what these planes have to have is incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be able to survive, attacks from enemy aircraft and surface to air missions.
That's crazy that our country has this high-tech stuff, but they can't have a high-tech airplane for the president. That's insane. Oh man.
But this plane that the United Arab Emirates wants to give Trump was made and designed for its premiere, and so it's decked out in gold. Trump went through it in his first. When was he there? He was there. I forget when he was there, but he took a tour of the aircraft, and his ego wants that plane.
That I believe. Oh man, what could you do? Oh,
there's only one Trump. There's only one Trump.
That's true. That's crazy stuff. What do you do? Wow. Okay. So I also have Trump signs an executive order directing pharmaceutical companies to lower drug prices in other high income countries. To protect. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Trump signs an executive order directing pharmaceutical companies to lower drug costs to prices in other high-income countries. Companies have 1 month to comply with the order or risk incurring steep limits on earnings.
Okay, he can only do this to Medicare and Medicaid. See, what happens is that Europe pays 20%. They pay 80% less for drugs than the United States pays.
Wow.
Right? And so what Trump is saying is the lowest price that you charge in other countries is what you're going to charge us.
Okay.
We pay for all the R&D. The United States pays for all the R&D. And what he's saying is for Medicare and Medicaid, you are going to drop your prices 80%.
Okay.
And the drug companies are screaming.
I bet they are. I bet they are. They're probably not happy about that at all. Why are you just doing this? That's weird. Okay. Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we're doing. We're subsidizing others' health care in countries where they pay a small fraction. Okay, yeah, that's what you're saying. So, yeah. I mean, some of the prices are just unbelievable, some of those costs, especially of some of the newer drugs, but, you know, it's crazy, like some of the things that they charge. And then anything they can get that well, they're going to try to get as much as they can when it's out first to try to recover their investment or their initial cost. But some things like, especially AIDS drugs, you know, some of those things.
Weight
loss drugs, yeah, sure.
It cost me, now I have good insurance, so it doesn't cost me anything. But it costs $1,000 a month for my weight loss medication. In England, it costs 80% less. So people with money fly to England to buy the weight loss drug.
That's crazy.
Because we have to pay for all the R&D.
Yeah.
Research and development. That's where they recoup their money. They recoup it on the backs of Americans. And Trump says that's going to be done with. So they've got to charge Europe more to help pay for R&D.
Right.
And Europe isn't going to go for that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, now those are those companies Chinese countries or companies?
No, they're American companies.
Are they? Okay.
They have most of their factories in China.
Okay.
And you know where else they have their factories?
Where's that?
Ireland.
Okay.
Ireland has a huge number of pharmaceutical companies. But what happened was during COVID, the supply chain broke down because we don't make drugs in this country.
Okay.
And what Trump wants to do is he wants to force pharmaceutical companies to build their factories in America. So if something like COVID happens again, we're not stuck.
Okay.
That's all part of the American First whole perspective, is that we should have our own steel plants. We should have our own aluminum plants. We should have our own car plants. We should have our own chip plant. We get most of our chips from Taiwan.
Wow. You know, the steel mill in Steelton is closing.
Yeah.
It's sad for me because that's where my dad worked. You know.
I worked there. I worked there for 4 years.
That's where my dad died too. He fell over and died at work. And it's sad to think that that place is not going to be around anymore. But, yeah, that's...
I was high for 4 years, and it was all at the fight mill.
Crazy. It is crazy. I don't know. Makes me sad. You know?
Well, that's the thing. Trump wants to turn that around.
Yeah.
He wants us to be producing our steel ourselves instead of importing it from Japan or importing it from the United Kingdom or importing it from Germany.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny because I used to say, you know, I'm kind of glad my dad's died because I'm driving a foreign car now, and like when I had the Priuses and all that stuff. And now he'd be really proud of me because I'm driving a Tesla, which is American made. So I turned that around. So I'm back to American-made cars. Oh man, that's crazy stuff. That's I don't know, but anyway.
Steel can, the only reason steel can exist is because of the plant. That whole town's going to go
Yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing around. That's really gonna, I mean, unless some kind of organization shows up to be another business that can run, but there's really nothing around there, because I mean, geez, the town was named after steel. So now it's kind of maybe.
All those bars, I mean, they were there for lunch and after work.
Yep.
Guys, Friday nights, those tavern owners made all their money on Friday nights.
Yep.
After we got paid, we all just go to the bar and drink it. That was life for me for 4 years.
Yeah. That's crazy stuff. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to think about it. When they sold out, they also cut in. I believe they cut into my dad's pension and stuff that my mother was getting. They offered them less money. So it's just one of those things. But it is what it is.
I know a guy right now that is losing his job because the plant's closed.
Oh boy, that's a shame.
And he's close to retirement, but
Yep.
he's not close enough.
Yep. I don't know. It is what it is. Fortunately, we're retired and we don't have to worry about that stuff. But man, I'd be worried about
That's
it.
another blessing, Mike.
Yep.
I'm retired and I don't have to worry about it.
Yep, that's a big blessing for me too. I just have to worry about people breaking into my accounts and stealing them. But other than that,
Well, yeah, that's well, your millions are at risk.
my million. It's really a shame, but I'm very thankful that they didn't get everything they tried to get, and even that crypto that they bought on my PayPal, because they're locked out of my PayPal now. It's mine; they can't touch it. So I just hope it goes up so I don't lose money. I mean, as of yesterday, I was down $2 of the purchase that they made, but it's there now, and
You are so blessed that you caught that when they just did.
it was out of stupidity. It was out of stupidity because I locked it down so that nobody could do anything. And then after I thought everything was secured, I was opening it back up and I was tying it back to my checking account then. And everything looked good. And then I made a purchase from Goodwill, and I just wanted to make sure it was all going to go through. And then I saw this purchase for crypto. There's only $20, $21 with the fees. And I thought, I didn't do that. Who did that? And then I realized that somebody had signed in under my thing, and I locked them out. I re-authenticated it and all that other stuff. And then today I was on Facebook, and I was on my phone, and I was looking at, there was a tab I accidentally hit, and it said there was Firefox that was on my Facebook, and I knew that wasn't me. So I signed out of that so they couldn't get back in it. And I'd already changed my password, so they don't know what it is. So I don't expect to see them back on there. But they were snooping around my Facebook. So who knows? I have to keep my eyes open, and who knows? I think I've got everything secured, though. I think I've got Comcast called me today and had a conversation with them, and they're so proud of everything they've done. They can't be proud of that. It was their fault. I don't want them to be proud of that, because they let my phone number get taken away from me. That should not have ever happened. So as far as I'm concerned, I probably have a lawsuit that I could do against them.
Probably could. That's why they're so proud.
Well, after this is all secured, I'm going to possibly talk to a lawyer and see if I have a case. But I almost lost $26,000. That's scary enough. And the fact that they were after my investment accounts and all that stuff, that was an eye-opener. I don't want to have to deal with this kind of stuff ever again. But, yeah, it's crazy.
You were very fortunate, Mike, because other people have lost their savings.
I would have lost it. And they would have ran my credit card up.
If I remember, your biggest fear is living out of a van.
Yep, it is. Now, if I live in a van because I did something wrong, so be it. But if I do it because somebody stole from me, I couldn't deal with that. I don't know. It was an eye opener though, and I'm going to be a lot more careful about this stuff in the future, and I'm going to be paranoid now. I'm going to make myself less at risk at everything. So, I thought you might like this. Let's see if I can see if it.
It doesn't.
Wait, hold on. Oh, I got to go this way. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is. Wait a minute.
I see it. I can see it now.
It is a digital picture before digital pictures were out. I had a dot matrix printer, and what I do is I printed this on my dot matrix printer, and it's a picture of apathy, and I'm right here.
I see it.
I'll show you this when you're in the studio next. I found this, and I thought, wow, that's kind of weird. I didn't even remember doing that, but I guess I did, or somebody did it for me or something. But I thought that was kind of cool to see that from 1984 or 85, before digital cameras were out. It was a real picture that was in the computer, and it was printed out on a dot matrix printer. And so it's all little itty bitty dots, and it was only black and white. So it was before even color printers were out, or probably. But that was kind of cool. I saw that today, and I thought, I'm going to show that on the show. So it's just funny. Some of the things we see when we aren't looking for it. All right, so we're done with this. I think, are we done with Trump news?
So much has happened. There's more Trump news, but I'm done with it.
We could do the Trump show if we wanted to. We could have a special show.
Right now. I listened to Mo News this morning, and they said so much happened on this weekend on Monday. They could do 2 shows back to back with Trump news.
That's crazy. But it means he's working.
He's working. He's tireless.
That guy has a work ethic. You can't complain about his work ethic. All right. Got 2 more things for the entertainment area. Bill Gates announces he will donate 99% of his tech fortune, estimated around $107 billion, to the Gates Foundation over the next 20 years. The foundation is set to close in 2045 and currently has a $77 billion endowment, not endorsement. So that's, man.
And he said he's going to have enough money to buy a few hamburgers after it's all over.
Oh, man.
He's keeping probably $1 billion for himself.
Didn't him and his wife split, right?
I believe, yes. He has a new person.
Yeah. So, 99% of his tech fortune, the Gates will donate 99% of his tech fortune to the Gates Foundation, which will now close in 2045, earlier than previously planned. Today, it would be estimated $107 billion. That's just for the Gates Foundation. It has nothing to do with Microsoft. The pledge is among the largest philanthropic gifts ever, outpacing the historic contributions of industrialists like J.D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie when adjusted for inflation. Only Berkshire Hathaway investor Warren Buffett pledged to donate his fortune, currently estimated at $160 billion, may be larger depending on stock fluctuations. Gates' donation will be delivered over time and allow the foundation to spend an additional $200 billion over the next 20 years. The foundation already has an endowment of $77 billion built from donations from Gates, Melinda Gates, and Buffett. That's a lot of money.
See, and what I wonder is, he's got kids. I wonder how they feel about it.
Well, I think that they won't be hurting.
No, I think they can live a comfortable life.
They'll probably have to live on hamburgers and hot dogs, but and steaks and anything else they want. They're probably going to have to get a smaller mansion, maybe not as many acres as they wanted, but they won't have.
Instead of having 10 homes, they'll have to go live with 3 or 4 homes.
Something like that, yeah. It says it's thrilling to have that much to be able to put into these causes. His announcement Thursday signals both a promise of sustained support to those causes, particularly global health and education in the U.S., and an eventual end to the foundation's immense worldwide influence. Gates says spending down his fortune will help save and improve many lives, which will have positive ripple effects beyond the foundation's closure. It make it more likely that his intentions are honored. I think 20 years is the right balance between giving as much as we can to make progress on the things and giving people a lot of notice of how his money will be now this money will be gone. That shows that he's not just a billionaire that doesn't care. And all along, they've always had the Gates Foundation and took care of other people. So to that, as much as we were a Microsoft house too, so we sold a lot of Microsoft. And I saw a lot of Microsoft go through the doors. And, I give them a big thumbs up. I mean, who knows? If I had that kind of money, I guess I'd consider doing that too. What happened? I mean, you can't spend it when you're gone.
To have a slightly different outlook, I would say, if I was going to do it, I would have put my fortune into the foundation, but keep the foundation active and let my kids run.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that too. It seems kind of bizarre to just end it, but at least he knows where the money has gone, and it won't be abused in that period of time, probably, if he's alive that long. So it'd be kind of funny if he if he outlives his money and he only has a couple bucks himself and has to live off Social Security or something. But I like the fact that they cared about other people. So the foundation started 25 years ago. So it's funny when it says here, started by Bill Gates and Melinda French Gates. Does she have to use a middle name? I mean, what is the point of that? We know who Melinda Gates is. I don't think there's a lot of Melinda Gates out there that we have to put a middle name in there. But,
It's a way of things.
I guess. But it's just kind of cool that they took their money and they didn't just throw it away on jets, or they could have bought the new jet for president.
Yeah, it's $400 million. They could have done it easy.
Jeez. Can you imagine what $400 million could spend on, what you could spend that on? I mean, the sky's the limit. But anyway. All right, last entertainment, although it's not really entertainment, but it's kind of it fits in under entertainment because we know who they are. The Melendez brothers, long-awaited resentencing hearing to begin. So, where they were originally being blocked from being resentenced, they are being resentenced. It says, along awaited resentencing hearing on Tuesday is set to determine whether the two brothers who killed their wealthy parents in Beverly Hills mansion could be freed from prison after 3 decades. After months of delays, the judge will begin hearing 2 days of arguments for both against Eric and Lyle Menendez, bid to receive a lesser sentence, which could ultimately lead to their paroled release. So, I guess if I were voting on this, if I had any say in this, I guess I would have, considering the evidence that we were given, I would say that it's time to release them. But keep a good eye on them. See make sure they keep their noses clean. What do you think?
Well, I think it was over sentence.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because we didn't know the facts. And even if we had known the facts back then, it's a different world today. So I think that definitely they were over sentenced too. But like I said, back then we didn't think of things the way they are now. The world has changed quite a bit. So, all right. Do you have Diddy? All I know is that he is going through his. They just started day one. I think day one.
And Cassie is girlfriend.
Okay.
Testified.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you know about it?
And she was describing the freakouts and the things that Diddy wanted her to do.
Okay.
And made her do, and the drugs he made her take.
Oh.
And she took the drugs because she was so disgusted by what Diddy wanted her to do.
Wow.
That she needed to disassociate.
Wow. Is this the one that was beat up in the lobby?
Yeah.
Oh. See, I don't see how you could justify any of that. I don't. Even if you just took that piece alone, that piece, and let it stand on its own, I don't see how anyone could justify what he did that day. And but then you start adding the other things in there, and you see a monster. I mean, I saw a monster there.
One of the male escorts testified that, or is going to testify that he saw Cassie being beaten up, and another escort being beaten up by Diddy because they wouldn't do what he wanted them to do. He's a voyeur, and he liked to watch her with other guys.
And he also was a person that needed to be in control. He needed to dominate. It wasn't about the sex. It was about the power.
It's like a rapist. It's about control.
It's about power, And that was what I think the most disturbing part of that is that, it didn't matter if you were a man or a female or whatever. If he could humiliate you in some way, that was his goal, to overpower you, to make you submit to this person. And that is a scary thing, to think that someone was so far gone and had that much power over the people that, even his male friends were going to be part of his show. And so that's... I don't think I'd want to be retried, because the things that are going to come out are a lot worse than what I think that we went through the first time when we went through this. So he may be in trouble because he's won at this retrial. I don't know.
They estimate that this is a day. His defense team is costing him anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million a day, because he's got a top-class defense team.
Yeah, he does. He does. I can't see.
Well, he's going to be flat broke when this thing's over.
Well, I mean, you can't have that much money anyway in jail. He's not getting out. So I guess it's just something for him to do while he's in jail. I wouldn't want to go through that. I wouldn't want to have to deal with all the craps. How do you defend that? What's his possible defense on any of this stuff going to be?
That's all consensual.
Yeah, but
All
yet
consensual.
I can't believe that's the case, because everything that's coming out is just, it's horrible. It's horrible to even think about. I don't know. But, hey, they say your day in court. He gets that now. So now he's got to enjoy it. I don't know how you could, but, he's, you get what you deserve sometimes. It's good to see that that's what's happening, because I don't feel sorry for him at all. Not at all.
And Cassie stated that she was scared of it.
And I believe it.
Violent temper.
And the thing is, when you're with someone like that, you can't leave them, because as powerful as he is, he'd go out and get someone to go after her or get her or kill her. Who knows? It's not like he's a man with integrity. I don't know. It's funny because I never liked him from day one, but then, I wasn't into that type of music or anything, and I didn't like his obnoxious attitude towards people. And I guess it caught up with him. So hopefully it'll continue in that, and we're going to find out some really things that we probably don't want to know about him. So, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
So we're in agreement. We think Menendez should have new sentences,
yes,
and Diddy should spend the rest of his life behind bars.
I think we should give the Menendez's sentence to Diddy, add it to Diddy's, let him be whatever name he wants to be this month. And that's, I don't think he should ever get out. He's in his 50s or 40s or something. I think he's in his 50s. So I think he should spend the rest of his life in jail. So, or at least, yeah, I believe that. I think the rest of his life would be good. That's fair. I don't want him to spend any more than the rest of his life in jail. So let the whoever his higher power is deal with him. You got anything else?
Not on that, no.
Anything else at all?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got lots of stuff too, but I want to give you your time here.
Let me see here. This whole thing between Justin Fleming and Blake Lively?
Yeah, it's really kind of strange.
Yeah, what do you know about it? Because it's news to me. I have here that Taylor Swift has been subpoenaed into it.
So my understanding is that Blake Lively and who's the other person?
Justin.
Oh yeah, that's that guy. All right. So apparently this is supposed to be a sexual harassment case, and so now Blake says that it's sexual harassment against her, and he says there was that it is not. But I think he said that it was against. I forget. Hold on. Let me bring up. Oh, here we go. There we are. Versus. Now they did this on the set of this. Okay, here we go. There is. Okay, so Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively are engaged in a legal battle stemming from the film It Ends With Us. Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, claiming he was created a toxic work environment and sexually harassed her during filming. Baldoni then filed a counterclaim accusing Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds of extortion, defamation, invasion of privacy, and allegedly they sought to control the film and damage his reputation. So here's a more detailed background. December 2024, Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of creating a toxic work environment. The counter lawsuit was January 2025. Baldoni filed a counterclaim against Lively and Ryan Reynolds, alleging that they sought to control the film and damage his reputation. The details are that Baldoni's lawsuit alleges that Lively threatened to make false sexual harassment complaints and withdraw from the production to gain creative control over the film, excluding Baldoni in the process and barring him from the film's premiere. Now, here's what Taylor Swift. A subpoena was issued to Taylor Swift in connection with Baldoni's lawsuit, citing messages between Lively and Baldoni where Swift was mentioned. See if we have any more information on that, because that's what you're about to talk about,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I have here on one of the tabs I have. And I had no idea why Taylor Swift is involved.
All right, and then it says here, Lively's lawyers requested that Baldoni provide financial records, arguing he needs to prove the $400 million in damages he's claiming. So let's see here. I had something. Where's it at? I'll find out where's Swift stuff at. Okay. Here's one that says Taylor Swift reacts to the subpoena. Taylor Swift would very much like to be excluded from the Lively and Baldoni legal battle. Months after the Karma singer's name was brought up on the countersuit against Lively, who alleges she was sexually harassed by her co-star. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of the movie. A rep for Swift told E! News. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. The spokesperson noted that Swift did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release. Since she was traveling around the globe during 2023-2024, her hugely popular Eras tour. So the connection Taylor had to this film was permitting the use of one song, My Tears Ricochet. Swift's representative said given her involvement was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did. The document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public attention by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that satisfies that. Okay, we can go on. I've got some other things, but if you've got them, let's run with yours. Oh, I know one I want to talk about. Snake Man.
Oh, yeah, Snake Man. What do I have? Oh, what do I have on him? You gave me that. What did I do with it? Hold on. You gave me Snake Man, and I put him on my list. Let me find the. I have an article on him. Let me see where it's at. It's the one that the guy got bit by all these snakes and stuff, right?
600 injections of venom and 200 snake bites.
Yeah, I gotta find the article. Doggone it, where did I put it? I do have it here somewhere. One thing I do want to, since this past weekend was Mother's Day, I definitely want to talk about this. How Mother's Day originated in the women's movement? We'll go back to Snake Man because I know I put it somewhere. I got to figure out where I put it.
Okay, well, let's talk about Mother's Day.
A history of Mother's Day in the U.S. Do you know where it came from?
Yeah.
All right, from global peace to greeting cards. And it says here, Mother's Day is in the United States, has history all its own, and it's more complicated than greeting cards that it might lead you to believe. They were repeated efforts to establish a Mother's Day holiday and conflicting ideas about what it should stand for and how it should be observed, from a call for women to improve global policy making and seek peace to a day to honor women's work and role in the family. The history of the holiday reveals multiple insights into how women, how mothers shape the world. Julia Ward Howe, best known as the author of Battle Hymn of the Republic, was an abolitionist, a women's rights advocate, and a peace activist. In 1870, horrified by a death and destruction she had witnessed during the Civil War and concerned about the Franco-Prussian was unfolding abroad, Howe issued what has come to be known as her Mother's Day Proclamation, originally called an appeal to womanhood throughout the world. In it, Howe urged the creation of an international body of women who could find ways to avoid war and bloodshed. I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women, without limit of nationality, may be appointed to promote the alliance of different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, the great and general interests of peace. When that didn't happen, Howe sought to establish an annual Mother's Day for peace to be celebrated in June. That did happen in a few places for a while. The version of Mother's Day celebrated today is more directly rooted in the work of Anne Jarvis and her daughter Anna Jarvis, who established the holiday to honor her mother. Frustratingly for the younger Jarvis, most people don't celebrate it today the way it was intended. And I didn't know any of this, by the way. I don't know how much of this you knew.
I know nothing.
Anna Marie Reeves Jarvis, 1832 to 1905, bore more than a dozen children. Right there, she has her own nation. she could say whatever she wants in that nation. Bore more than a dozen children. Most of the children died from diseases such as diphtheria and or measles, which were more common during her day in the Appalachian area, Appalachian area of Virginia, later West Virginia, where she lived. Jarvis worked hard in her community to try to help other mothers and families avoid the tragedies she had suffered. Part of the national public health movement, populated in large part by women reformers, Jarvis organized the Mothers' Work Clubs and promoted special mothers' work days when women would collaborate. They would collaboratively collect trash and undertake other projects to improve local environmental conditions in their neighborhood, understanding of hygiene. The focus of Jarvis' work changed when war struck. Her region was deeply divided by the Civil War. Local soldiers fought on both sides of the conflict, and guerrilla warfare was rampant. Jarvis insisted on the women's groups that she organized help both the Confederate and Union troops who were sick and wounded, and she worked to promote peace and unity following the war. In 1868, despite the threats of violence, she organized a Mother's Friendship Day to bring families from both sides of the war together to try to restore a sense of community. It's possible that Howe's proclamation 2 years later, inspired by Jarvis, the two knew each other. At least Jarvis and Howe shared the belief that women, and especially mothers, were best suited to bring people together with a goal of peace. After Anne Jarvis' death, her daughter, Anna Jarvis, 1864 to 1948, set out to honor her mother's legacy by establishing a National Mother's Day on the second Sunday in May, the day her mother had died. Anna, who never married or had children of her own, did not focus the holiday on peace activism, but on the idea of honoring one's own mother. She chose white carnations as an emblem and urged people to write heartfelt letters of gratitude to their mothers. It says here, in Anna Jarvis's eyes, send a printed card didn't count. Anna succeeded in her quest for official recognition, and President Wilson issued a proclamation of the first Mother's Day just before the start of World War I in 1914. So there you go. There we go.
See, that's something I never knew.
I never knew that at all, and it's really interesting that it happened during wartime, and it was interesting that Anna didn't have any children but wanted to pursue something for her mother. So, yeah, I think it's really interesting. That's one thing I found. The other thing was there was a giant, we were talking about fentanyl earlier. There was a large fentanyl and cocaine trafficking ring dismantled in Pennsylvania. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Pennsylvania is usually a pretty quiet state when it comes down to the states around us. Pennsylvania Attorney General David Sunday said Tuesday that a Beaver County man and over a dozen others have been charged with trafficking crack cocaine, cocaine, and fentanyl. Between April 2023 and August 2024, Cortez Martin, 34, and 13 alleged co-conspirators are charged with trafficking cocaine and pressed fentanyl pills in Beaver, Allegheny, and Washington counties. On Tuesday, 10 of the 14 were arrested. Martin, who was taken in custody Tuesday, faces charges of illegal possession, firearm possession, criminal conspiracy, dealing with the possession or proceeds of unlawful activity, corruption, corrupt organizations, possession with intent to distribute, and criminal use of communications service. The bail amount is $500,000.
He's not getting out, and he's going to jail.
Yeah, I would imagine. They don't like people with fentanyl, and actually, I'm glad, because fentanyl killed Pam. That's one of the things that killed Pam. So I'm more than happy to see that guy rot in jail.
Well, my guys, when they go out and drug, when I went out and drug, there was no fentanyl.
Okay.
Marijuana wasn't laced. Cocaine wasn't
right.
laced.
Yeah.
Now it's laced. But
yeah.
You can die from just a very small amount of fentanyl.
That's crazy.
My guys face death all the time.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the, it's probably the worst drug out there right now, too. And, yeah, I really feel bad about I know I had that one. I know it just sucks that it has to be that way. That these people, like, it'd be one thing if it was just fentanyl. I mean, it's bad enough to be just fentanyl. But then they got to lace it with this other stuff. And we've seen so many people who have died from this stuff. And they don't care. They're drug dealers. They just, I don't see why they have to lace it with something. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not really I'm not really.
I wouldn't do drugs today because I'd be scared to death of
yeah.
laced with fentanyl.
And it's even been like stupid drugs too that they laced it with. It's so weird. I don't understand it. I'm gonna look for Snake Man. I know I got this on. It's on here somewhere around because I when you said about it, I said, well, I got to figure this out because this is like really insane that this guy was into the snakes. Where is it? I know I shifted some of these things around, so that's why it's out of the wrong order. You can go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to look for the article.
Okay, well, this guy evidently has an immune system of which he's totally immune from snake venom. From every known snake, he is immune from the venom. From cobras to black llamas to rattlesnakes to copperheads.
Yeah.
Nothing affects him. And so he has injected himself
Here it is.
600 times with venom. You found it?
Yep, Tim Freed.
Yep.
I knew this. I knew there was something because I actually did look this up and found this information. I'm like, oh wow, this is a great article, and I don't know where it is. I'll probably run across it later, but I don't know where it is in my notes. The guy's name is Tim Freed. He developed immunity to multiple snake venoms by deliberately injecting himself with escalating doses of venom over nearly 2 decades. He allowed snakes to bite him hundreds of times, building up his resistance and their toxins. The immunity is now being used for scientists to develop a universal antivenom. So,
you know what that means? That means if you're a hiker on the Appalachian Trail, you'll be able to take one injection with you.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what snake you run into.
Right. To me, that's a really cool thing.
It is a really cool thing.
You know, I got a stupid story, but it's true. In 3rd grade, they had a day, a show and tell. And that day, I decided to show a snake. And my brother brought a garter snake in, because he was in 2 grades ahead of me. And he brought the snake in, because I never liked snakes. I didn't want to handle them. Anyway, while I was talking about the snake, his snake bit me. So here I am in 3rd grade, and I'm freaking out because the snake bit me. And but anyway, that was my class project, I guess. So it's funny. But anyway, here's a more detailed explanation. Tim Freed, a man with fascination with snakes and a desire to understand the venom, meticulously built his immunity over 18 years. He started injecting himself with small, carefully calibrated doses of venom. That's such a crazy thing because he didn't even do it with the doctor's help. You know, at least I don't think he did. He gradually increased the dosage, allowing his body to develop antibodies that could neutralize the toxins. He also allowed snakes to bite him hundreds of times, testing his immunity in real time. I mean, as great as it is, it's also insane. So
there's something wrong here. There's definitely something wrong with this. But his contribution to science.
The science, it says, by repeatedly exposing himself to snake venoms, his body developed unique antitoxin antibodies. The antibodies can neutralize the effects of snake venoms from multiple species. Scientists have isolated and analyzed these antibodies according to Popular Mechanics. That's okay. Potential universal antivenom. Scientists have used his antibodies to create a new type of antivenom. The antivenom has been tested on mice and shown to protect them from multiple species of snakes. The antivenom is designed to be more affordable and accessible than current antivenoms, potentially benefiting millions of people in areas where snake bites are common. The antivenom combines Freed's antibodies with toxin-blocking drug to create a powerful defense against snake venom. To me, that's so insane. I mean, it's cool that he's willing to do this, but to put his own body on the freaking line for that, I just don't get it. But hey, I'm glad there's people like that, you know, because it could potentially save any one of us. So, yeah.
He's a strange dude, but I'm glad he did it.
Yeah. I'm glad he did it because better him than me. Because
better him than me.
I don't mind him being famous for that because I am not going to do that. So somebody's got to do it, I guess. All right, what else you got?
You go ahead, Mike. I've got some stuff, but it can wait.
Oh.
You've got stuff, let's go.
Well, I mean, I've got stuff that isn't time sensitive that I've saved up. Do you know the most complicated word in the English The most complicated word in English. Wait a minute. Let me read this again. The most complicated word in English is only 3 letters long.
No, what is it?
I will tell you. I forget. I just remember that I looked this up, and I remember. Oh yes, Reader's Digest. The 3 little letters has 645 meanings, and that's quite a few meanings. So the word. Let me see here. I forget what it is. What's the word? Oh yeah. Okay. So. You might think it's absurd, and maybe it is. The Oxford English Dictionary editors recently revealed that run, R-U-N, has indeed become the single word with the most potential meanings in all English, boasting no fewer than 645 usage cases for the verb form alone. The copious definition of run featured in OED's upcoming 3rd edition began with the obvious, to go with quick steps on alternate feet. Then proceed run for 75 columns of type. Oh, geez. Breaking news. Hold on. Wow, they're Menendez's have got a solution. They've been resentenced to 50 years, 56 years. Man, that means they're going to be 70 when they get out.
Well, there's good time behavior.
Oh, yeah, that could be. I'm waiting for the article to pull up. But anyway, it says here, the entry, it says, oh, freaking A. Close. I hate when I read an article and something pops up in the middle. Okay. So anyway, 645 different meanings of that word. Context is everything. Think about it. When you run a fever, for example, those 3 letters have a very different meaning than when you run a bath. Or when your bathwater subsequently runs over and drenches your cotton bath runner, forcing you to run out to the store to buy a new one. Then you run up to a bill of $85 because the rug and some cold medicine, you need some thread to fix the run in your stocking, and you have some tissue for your runny nose, and a carton of milk that you've run through your supply of at home, and all this makes dread run through your soul because you value your club membership runs out at the end of the month. That's just, I mean, there's 645 different usages of the verb. So that doesn't have anything to do with anything else but just the verb. So I just think it's funny that that is the most. It says it wonder how long it took them to identify the most annoying word in the English language. So that was the most complicated word in English with only 3 letters. Okay. Now, did this come up? It still didn't come up. What's going on here? Then, I deleted the next one by accident. Let me undo that. Get back here. Okay. All right. Then, what's the longest word in English?
I have no idea.
It's 189,819 letters long. It is. I find these really weird articles. I can't say it, but I'll try to say it. Okay. Wait a minute. That's the old one. Let's see here. How many letters? Oh, okay. I better find. Oh, here it is. I can't even. So these. Okay. I can't pronounce the word, so I'm going to have to make it big enough that you can see it, because it's bizarre.
Well, I saw one supercalifragilistic.
Oh, it's way ahead of those. Those are little words next to this. This, geez, that's not even it. Let's see. I got to get the word up here so that here it is. The longest word in the Oxford Dictionary is I can't even pronounce it. I can't even, however that's pronounced. And then this one's the longest well-known nonsense word. It's supercalifragilistic. That one has 34 letters. The longest non-coined, non-technical word published is 28 letters. Whatever that is.
Establishment.
Yeah. Oh, come on, stop it. Oh, you're not. Are you going to let me? Come on. Okay. Here's 85 letters, and I can't even pronounce that. Stop it. Okay. And let's see. Where's the one that's 300 and says 189,819 letters long? I don't think I figured it out. Where was it? Here's the longest word in English. That doesn't seem like that many letters. But in any case, there's a lot of long words that that doesn't. Oh, that must be it. Okay, that must be where it starts. It starts with this, and it goes from there to here. Then it goes from there to here, and then it goes from there to there, and then to there. But it says,
what's it mean?
It says Jimmy did not stop speaking for 3.5 hours long, and Jimmy flees. The total count is 189,819. English isn't always easy, especially when you throw in regional sayings. It says Jenny completes a full technical name protein known as tinnin, a folded spring-like protein that helps keep our muscles elastic. Total letter count is 189,819. So I can't tell you how to pronounce it.
It's a protein.
It's a protein. So that was a bizarre one. That's Reader's Digest for you. They find the weirdest ones. Here's a countertop robot that'll cook for you.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to go check on my dogs. Hang on.
All right, man.
Carry on.
I will. Meet Pasha, the countertop robot that cooks your meals for you. So this is, I mean, I'm into tech, so that kind of is why I think I like it. But in 2017, Rakhav Gupta set out to solve a personal problem. He wanted easy access to the home cooked food he grew up eating without having to spend time cooking or spend money on takeout or hiring a private chef. He turned to robotics, which led him to the startup Pasha. Pasha is a former TechCrunch startup Battlefield company. Builds countertop robots that make meals using computer vision. Users scroll through a list of recipes, select the one they want, and add proper amounts of requested ingredients, and the machine takes the meal from there. So, okay. Then it says the process is designed to be customizable and forgiving. Gupta said that so the machine allows people to make substitutions, and Pasha still works if a user doesn't measure their ingredients perfectly. It's like a coffee machine for food. And so if you want to drink for a coffee, you choose to brew a coffee on your coffee machine. You put your beans, sugar, milk, and different containers. You tap brew, and it comes out a cup of coffee. Pasha does something similar, but for food. The coffee machine's good, but not perfect. Comparison to Pasha, as Pasha requires a bit more labor than a coffee maker. I guess it depends on how complicated the recipe is that you want to make. But yeah, I mean to me that's kind of cool, because someone like me who doesn't really do a lot of cooking, it gives me and I've seen one of these much more complicated than this, I think. I've seen these kitchens and stuff that people spend their money on, and the machines do the work, but you got to have all the ingredients in the right places. I don't know how this compares to one of those, but I've actually seen on Shark Tank. I've seen guys that have those types of machines. Well, actually, I saw one on Shark Tank a long time ago, and it didn't seem to be the sharks didn't really seem interested in it. There, Christine says, "I want one of those machines." Then she won't have to cook at all. That's one way to get away with. You only have to spend probably 50, 60 grand to get one of those machines, or more, probably more. But I saw one of them. They looked pretty cool, and they had a lot of neat bells and whistles. But the big issue was getting it serviced. Where do you get it serviced? I mean, if you have a coffee maker that dies, you go out and buy a new coffee maker. But with all the moving parts of a thing like this, I would think there would be a lot of tech support issues, especially in the beginning, because it's a new technology. I would expect there to be a lot of things that you have to watch out for. It's kind of like when you first got a VCR. It was really complicated because the technology was something you had to grasp on all the procedures, but eventually it's like kind of like an encore meal where you just have this thing and you slide it in the microwave and let it go for 20 minutes or whatever. But I think it's kind of cool. I think the idea is good. I think the execution of the idea is going to be pretty expensive for a while. But at one time, a VCR was $2,500. So, eventually we'll probably be able to buy one of those at the local stereo post or whatever. Probably not stereo post because they're probably gone, but the local Lowe's or something. But still, it's kind of let's see what I got. Oh, did you see this on the USS Truman? This may be a couple weeks old. I'm not sure how long it would be. Navy fighter jet from the USS Harry S. Truman fell into the Red Sea following a failed landing. The FA-18F jet, valued at $67 million, was the second aircraft to fall from the carrier in 8 days. All crew were reported safe in instances, with one crew member sustaining minor injuries. Did you hear about that?
Yes. The first one was they were pulling it off the elevator to park it on the deck. And the ship had to maneuver because the Houthis fired a missile at it.
Okay.
And so the ship violently made a left. And that broke away from the tow mechanism.
Oh, look at that.
Went into the drink. The second one was on the landing. There are cables that stretch across, three cables.
Okay.
And your hook has to come down and catch one of them. That's what stops you.
Okay.
It broke.
Boy.
And they had and the pilot and his second in command had to eject from the plane.
Wow. Did I talk about a couple of weeks ago about a video I saw on YouTube about?
Yeah.
Oh, those things. Amazing, the technology that those aircraft carriers have on board. They're a town. They're as big as a town, and then they've got their escorts and all that. Just amazes me. And what you don't see on the upper decks below that is how much more firepower is still there that you don't see. That to me is just amazing how much power is there. You know, if the United States were to go be under battle, we still have a lot of firepower that's out on the seas.
Nobody has an aircraft carrier like R-12.
Oh man, it's crazy. They were just showing us pieces of it, and I'm sitting there thinking, and like in those attacks that I watched, those people inside that aircraft carrier probably didn't even know what was going on because everything was taken care of before it even got to them because of their escorts and stuff. That just amazes me how much power is in those things. And the only ones have them. So, at least at that level, I should say. I would imagine somebody else has them. But I just think it's really crazy. But yeah, so we lost what, two of those. So
$267 million aircraft.
That's got to come out of somebody's paycheck.
Well, the captain is in trouble.
I would imagine. Jeez.
Because he's in the military, you're personally responsible for the equipment under your command.
Oh. Wow.
Not that you're ever going to get the money out of him, but I mean, you can get fired for it.
Yeah. Jeez. To me, that's just amazing what they can, what those can do, and that's just one portion of our freaking military. So, yeah, that's. How about this one? Boy uses mother's phone to buy 70,000 dum-dum lollipops. Can you imagine? I mean, that's as bad as breaking into my account and stealing my money. You know, that's about $26,000 there. Oh man. Oh, that'd be one less kid that I would have. Total purchase was $4,200. Oh, that wasn't as bad as my account. Oh, it says a Kentucky woman told her said her young son was playing with her phone during the weekend and secretly placed an Amazon order for 70,000 dum-dum lollipops, total about $4,200. The Lexington resident said on her social media she was shocked to discover 30 cases of dum-dums at her doorstep. You know, one thing about Amazon, it gets there quickly. And if there's a shortage of dum-dums, we know where to go. Her son would be one of them.
How old was her son?
What was he? I think it's, what did it say? Did it say? It didn't say. Wait a minute. Let me say. Well, it doesn't say. That's why I guess I didn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say. Oh, that's an important part. He was probably 18. He's not going to see his next birthday. But yeah, that's crazy stuff. That's one reason not to have kids. They might fill you up with dum-dums. Oh man. Okay. Come on, let me capture that. There we go. All right. This is kind of interesting, and I'm not sure what to think of it, but I guess it makes sense. And I guess I gotta look at it. Okay, you gonna open up or not? Here we go. Brain study reveals humans process faces from other races differently than their own, with less detail and differentiation. That makes sense. Results confirm a phenomenon known as other race effect. Now, I never would have even thought about that, but actually that makes kind of sense a little bit. Across a pair of studies, researchers explored the other race effect, ORE, a well-known phenomenon in which people recognize faces of their own race more easily than of others. They combine AI and brain activity collected through EEG, electroencephalology, to reveal new insights on how we perceive other race faces, including visual distortions more deeply ingrained in our brain than previously thought. What we found was striking. People are so much better at seeing the facial details of people of their own race. This is important because we should want to know why we have trouble recognizing faces from other races and what influence that might have on behavior. It makes a lot of sense to me on racism, too, to a certain degree. Because, saying they one race all looks the same, or whatever the stereotypes are, it would make sense in that people don't see the differences of other races to themselves. But anyway, they discovered that faces of the same race were reconstructed more accurately than those of different races, that people tend to see faces of other races as more average looking. One surprising finding was that faces from other races, when reconstructed, also appear younger. I mean, I can see that. Can you imagine trying to return those dum-dums? It's funny because I'd return the kid first, I think, then I'd think about the dum-dums. Anyway, but the races, I mean, that makes kind of a lot of sense because people, especially if they're racist, they're not going to look at a face as detailed as someone that, Did you ever date another race?
Yeah.
I did a couple times, and both times, I think it's 2 times. Both times, I saw a beautiful person. But
it was in high school, and it was a black girl, and I had no car to take her out, but we talked all the time, and she went to a school in the South, and I went to community college.
Cool.
So
I did. I took out Felicia in college. She was beautiful. And then I saw her a couple years, probably about 20 years later, and I realized that her brother was the Jeffrey Gaines that was a musician that was making all the noise, that was doing great business. He was an awesome musician. I didn't realize that was her brother. Just never thought about it. And then I dated one after Pam died. There was a short period of time, a couple months, well, maybe a year. I dated a girl that was from New York, but she was living with her sister in PA, and I dated her for a while. But yeah, it was fun. But that's another thing. Anyway, that was an interesting study, I think. And it makes kind of sense to me that you would.
It makes sense to me too.
Yeah, because I never really thought about it, but it would make.
Where I grew up was very racist area, and I used to hear all the time that the N word all look the same.
Yes, and they're all bad people. And the time that we grew up was a whole different type. Because I never saw anyone face to face that was anything other than white until I was in senior high, and it was just a couple, a family bought a house down the street from us, and they were the first black family that went to our school, and I didn't have any issues with them, but it was a lot of people did, and of course my dad's best friend was black. They're always the best friend.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and the first time I actually interfaced with a black person one-on-one was in college, and I really was.
Was that Pete?
Yes, yeah. And that was it. I mean, it just like the stereotypes on TV where they were always the bad guys. They were always
for the Mod Squad.
right. The Mod Squad broke that stereotype by having, but he broke that stereotype by being the one good black person, if you want to call it that. But the thing is, because I was trained to believe that, it took a long time for me to understand that, and because of the TV and the media, we were taught to believe that the black people were scary and that they were going to take your wallet and stuff, and that was probably the worst injustice, and it's because Hollywood was responsible for that. Hollywood would not let us believe that anyone besides white is good. Well, except Bruce Lee, because everyone liked Bruce Lee, but he was the one in a million, and he wasn't treated necessarily good either. And in wrestling, the bad guys were always the black people or the foreigners. It doesn't have to be black. You could be Asian. It didn't matter. If you weren't white, you weren't the good guy. Now, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas skewed that a little bit because they went on to be the tag champs, and so that skewed the thing a little bit. But most of the promoters, especially in the South, refused to put a black person on top until Ron Simmons won a WCW World Championship. He's the first black person to win a world belt. But it's a shame that that was the way that our country was.
It still is.
And still is to a certain degree, but it's gotten a lot better. Now it's other people, whichever the... Oh, there's that. I knew I'd find it. I found it. I'm going to break the fourth wall here. Here's my notes. And here is Tim Freed. I told you I had it. I knew I had it. I just couldn't find it. It was... Whoops. I can't make this any bigger. Hold on. It's funny because I knew it was there. There. See Doug's stuff. I knew I had it. It was just a matter of finding where I put it. That's funny. Oh, man. So I should have... I'm going to have to change a page to Doug's stuff so that I can find your stuff a little easier. But he's actually a normal-looking man, too. He isn't like... I was expecting this guy to be all tattooed and stuff. But he's not. He's a... It says he's an autodidactic herpetologist and venom expert. Almost 20 years ago, while collecting a home collection of venomous snakes, he began administering diluted venom. So, yeah, I actually had this set aside for you, and I couldn't find it when I needed it. Oh, man. That's funny. So now we know where it is. Now I can't get to my notes anymore. How about it? Check out. There it is. So I guess I can get rid of this. Oops, this one. That's funny. Gives you a little insight into some of the things that I put in here. Anyway, this is interesting. engineers develop an electronic Band-Aid capable of delivering drugs to internal organs. Battery-free device may provide a platform for advanced health monitoring and therapies. So China's smart Band-Aid for organs delivers medicine wirelessly on demand. That's kind of an interesting thing, too.
Yeah, boy, that is interesting.
The Chinese do have a lot of cool stuff, and they do develop a lot of interesting things. It says here, Chinese have developed a wireless paper-thin patch that attaches to an organ. Why do you got to do this to me? I hate this. Close. There we go. To solve an important problem in drug delivery, the research team that includes Beihang University and Peking University developed an electronic patch that acts as a Band-Aid for organs. Traditional drug delivery systems send a vague package through the body and requires higher dosages than necessary and might harm organs in the process of trying to find their destination. Large molecule drugs or biopharmaceuticals based on proteins face an even greater challenge as a cell membrane often blocks these drugs. So this is electronic Band-Aid basically, and they can zero in on what they're trying to work on a lot better and a lot more effectively. So I think it's kind of cool that they're coming up with these things that are more complicated, but
And specific.
yes, the specific things that it does. Besides, yeah,
specificity.
Yeah, something like that. What you said, yeah. So I just think it's kind of cool to see. I guess I don't need this thing on the conclave either, since we got that all taken care of already. So I'm going to delete that one. See, I had all kinds of
that for another 2 decades.
At least, yeah. Then we got 2 newlyweds affirm their vows in underwater ceremony. This world's come to some pretty strange stuff. I don't know what.
If you're a scuba diver, you're going to
Forget walking down the aisle.
Yeah, well, I can't. I mean, I don't know. That's. I guess if you want to do something different, that's different. Let's see what they goes with here.
This is floating. The couple who decided to tie the knot underwater.
We decided to confirm our vows because we both met underwater and we both have such a love for the sports and just
You said I do.
We decided it was a bit mad, so we raised it at our meeting on evening. And it was received quite well. That contacted the service and they were doing it, so we've no really.
I picked quite heavy, and it was all actually. You don't need to wear anything for that weight. But we will be wearing them. My both dad and I have practiced last week or the week before walking down the aisle, which is significantly harder because of being weightless. So we're going to be going down quite laden.
Getting married underwater.
That's crazy.
For example, you can speak.
You can use that in the future. Say, hey, I didn't agree to this. There's no voice of me. I don't know. That wasn't me. That was.
The bride and groom are using cue cards and hand signals. How do they feel now it's all official?
We've just felt really lucky that we've been able to do something like this.
Yeah. So many of my friends who are willing to be with us.
Yeah. Martin's just keep touching on my dress and tripping over.
To sink down to the bottom and actually have to stand up, we have about between 6 and 8 kilos of lead extra.
And I've been after a check.
That's crazy. Can you imagine?
Yeah, lots of fun.
I'm going to say, the good news is we're going to get married and I want you to be with my best man. The bad news is you got to go underwater. Oh, man, that's insane. Oh, man. I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been. I'll show you a sample of one of the things that I watch now. This is my passion now. I mentioned that, obviously that I have a Tesla, but the thing I've been watching is these Tesla cam things. You get to see, sometimes it's something stupid, but sometimes you get to see how these cameras really actually work. There's no other car on the road that's better equipped than a Tesla for capturing what happened while you were driving. Some people do have dash cams, but the dash cams don't do anything like these Sentry cams do. And these Sentry cams were not meant to be this, but they've converted over the years. The thing about Teslas are that they're customizable to a certain degree. Originally, they were just meant to help you, get rid of blind spots and this and that, but they eventually became a Sentry system for your car. So here's an example of what.
In today's episode, we've got 15 incredible videos showing how Teslas and their drivers handle crashes, close calls, and an increasing amount of anti-Tesla road rage. Roll the intro.
This is my favorite. So I'm not going to play this whole clip.
This senator was on his way to work at Tesla, which is why we're keeping him anonymous. Tesla has some interesting policies about their employees and social media. As a Tesla employee, he knows all about Tesla's safety features, but he had no idea that his morning commute would be getting him to the test. Everything seemed fine on this beautiful morning until he noticed something strange up in the sky in his peripheral vision. By the time he realized what was happening, he was too close to the falling tree, and it was too late for him to do anything about it. After his Tesla had been struck by the tree, a group of workmen who had been felling the tree immediately rushed over to assist him. They apologized profusely and told him the tree had fallen in the wrong direction. Thankfully, our senator wasn't seriously injured. Noting this was the first time he'd ever responded to an incident like this that hadn't involved a fatality. The Tesla's roof and upper frame were destroyed, but our senator was alive. Even though his car was totaled, I think it's safe to assume that he'll be replacing it with another Tesla. Austin was taking his usual route home and was trying out the latest version of full self-driving that he just updated to the day before. As his Tesla entered an intersection, it was struck by a speeding pickup truck after the driver ran a stop sign. FSD reacted to the impending collision by alerting Austin both audibly and visually, and it even swerved to the right while applying the brakes before the collision occurred. The rear footage from this incident is especially interesting, as it reveals that FSD applied the brakes automatically a full second before the impact. It's worth noting that the pickup would have struck the driver's door. Instead, it impacted the Model Y's fender. Thankfully, nobody was injured in the collision. The pickup truck belonged to the city of Renton, Washington, and the apologetic driver accepted responsibility after admitting to speeding and running the stop sign. Police responded to the scene, and after watching this footage, the officer lectured the driver before asking for...
It's just really interesting that you can see who did, like, even if you're not in the accident, you can see other cars and the progression of why there are accidents, how some people drive and stuff like that. And then you see things like, let me see, I want to find one where somebody activated, I think there's one, yeah, there we go. So this one here is one that they were parked and the security system was activated.
Checking out his pickup. The Cybertruck flashed the lights at them when CenturyLink started recording, but Ray doesn't even realize what that meant. When he reviewed this footage later, he wasn't initially sure if these were Cybertruck fans or haters. They started taking pictures with the Cybertruck while making offensive gestures. Then one of them put his hands on the pickup before getting spooked by something. During all of this activity, the Cybertruck's alarm never went off. He then returned and climbed up onto the truck's front lid. Understandably, Ray was upset when he saw this. Obviously, his Cybertruck wasn't damaged, but literally standing on top of someone else's truck without permission is not cool. Thankfully, the only other evidence of this disrespectful act that remained were footprints, and they were easily cleaned off. Eric was driving in Pensacola, Florida, when he...
So it's kind of a cool thing because you can actually...
Andy was stopping at a red light to make a U-turn after mid...
You can actually get license plate numbers. You can get, all kinds of things that that you don't think you're going to ever need. You can, like, when somebody comes up to attack a car, you can actually see what they did because we got cameras on all sides. So it's kind of interesting because you have that. But when you're driving down the street, if you catch somebody else, like a lot of these guys, they'll see an accident that they're not involved in, and they'll offer them footage. Because some people will say, I didn't cause that accident. You caused that accident. Well, the camera doesn't lie. So you can help someone if they, like some people say, well, I'm just going to take off and you're never going to catch me. Well, you're going to get caught if if your license plate is caught on camera and it since all sides capture stuff at once, you're going to be caught if you're around a Tesla most times. So, and a lot of times, like I said, they'll capture stuff that they're not involved in. They'll offer it to the police so the police can resolve the issues. Somebody will say, I didn't run into them, they ran into me. And if they keep going, he said, she said, they won't have a resolution. But if they have camera footage, they get the resolution. It's kind of interesting. Like I looked at my footage and I saw somebody who they walked by my car and, they didn't do anything to it, but they, as I noticed that somebody did eventually, recently, I don't know when it was, but I noticed this big long scratch on the back of the car where I think somebody scratched me. But I didn't have Sentry on, so now I turned the Sentry on because I know that there's a lot of hate. So what'd you say? That is one destination. Oh, the wedding destination. Yeah, I don't think I'd be going to that wedding. So, all right, next one. A Michigan town forms a 300-person chain to help a local bookstore move 9,100 books to its new shop. That's what you call community. Community helping one another. So this comes up. Oh, here's a Diddy thing up here too. 300. That's crazy. To move 9,000 books in a book brigade. I guess they're all handing it down to one another. Wonder if they have a video. Let's see if they have a video. Okay. It took only a couple of hours to move. What are we going here? What is going on here? Didn't act up all day. They're going to act up. Stop it. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go. It says here about 300 residents in the small Michigan city of Chelsea formed a book brigade to help move Serendipity Books to a new storefront Sunday. It says here the volunteers formed a pair of lines as they passed off each title, about 9,100 in all, from the shop's former spot. And now I can't read it because the ad came up. Where's that? From the former spot to the new building down the block and around the corner on Main Street in a community of 5,300 people. That to me is really awesome that somebody would actually take all those people to help all those books get moved. And are people still buying books nowadays? I don't.
Not with all the electronic stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I
can't tell you the last time I bought a book, but I've downloaded a lot on my Kindle.
Okay. Well, here's the question, or here's the thing you said about Diddy. I want to bring this up.
Free calls.
Yeah. See if it comes up. Come on. All right. Wow, Church Frontier 44 gets prison sentence for molesting son's 13-year-old, I guess, friend. Why would a woman want to do with a 13-year-old? I can't wrap my head around that.
That's a sickness.
I guess.
It's a perverted sex.
I can't understand. Okay, get back here. Okay. Says disgraced rap mogul and Bad Boys record founder Sean Diddy Combs is on trial in New York City for sex trafficking, racketeering, and other charges. We're in a Manhattan federal court following the developments as the prosecutors start witness Diddy's former longtime girlfriend and R&B singer Cassie Ventura, whom Combs was seen beating and kicking in a sickening 2016 hotel surveillance video, testified Tuesday. The trial's not televised because cameras are prohibited inside the courthouse, so watch this space for the latest updates. Combs, 55, has pleaded not guilty to 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He faces life in prison if convicted. Cassie will.
That's too good for him.
Yeah. Well, the court wrapped up around 5 p.m. just as prosecutors were showing the now infamous video of Diddy beating Cassie in a hotel hallway to her for a second time. Man, she hit more than once. She got on video. Jurors shown the infamous. Okay, the jury was shown for the second time the infamous 2016 video depicting Sean Combs attacking his then girlfriend. Cassie spoke in a low, soft voice that was barely above a whisper as she narrated what happened in that disturbing footage. I mean, 2016 or whatever, that was a long time for that to come out. I'm surprised that anybody had that footage even from that long ago. How many times has Sean thrown you to the ground like that before? And she said, too many to count. Then Cassie kept her pretty calm as she testified in detail. Earlier in the day, she wept and dabbed her eyes with tissue a couple times, such as when a prosecutor showed her an image from the rapper's 2016 beatdown in her Los Angeles. How can you even possibly give a reason why you were able to do that to someone? I would want to hear the answer. I want to know why he felt that he could do that. Cassie calmly told jurors more disgusting details about the freak-offs she took part in with her then boyfriend, saying he controlled the situation. It was a fantasy. He was controlling the whole situation. He was directing it. The R&B singer said Combs would at times direct her to have sex with multiple male escorts at the same time. Sometimes Sean and the court would have intercourse with me. It was just a lot happening at once. At what point would escorts ejaculate? Somebody asked. Usually when it was okay for them, for Sean. But usually when they did, they did it on me, and then Sean and I would go to the next room, and he would want me to put the semen on his body. That is so weird. Cassie told the jury she was high on drugs for every freak-off with Sean Combs, and that it made her feel like she was going to vomit. The R&B singer said that she took the drugs ecstasy and MDMA. In particular, she felt sick almost every time. And if she puked or was nauseous, Combs would encourage me to get up and continue on with it. Continue on with the intercourse even when I was vomiting or if I was vomiting. It says that Ventura revealed that Combs gave her blue dolphin ecstasy. I don't know what that is. often and Diddy referred to male escorts as new members when booking travel for sex workers to avoid speculation. Cassie revealed that she and Sean Combs referred to male escorts as new staff members when having their agents book their travel to avoid any speculation. I definitely reached out to his travel agents. I believe we acted like it was a new employee being interviewed or something. It was a strategy so that nothing would be speculated about. Cassie testified that one of the male escorts she and Diddy Combs hired went by the nickname The Punisher. We used him a couple of times for freak-offs. She identified 6 escorts whose photos were shown to the jury. Diddy once had an entire blow-up pool filled with bottles of baby oil for a hotel freak-off, insisting the oil be heated and applied every 5 minutes so his sex show participants would be glistening. We would run out and we would call somebody or ask the bell clerk to give them a tip to get more. She said this baby oil, stocked in larger size bottles, was about 10 in the pool for her romp with a male escort, was as important as anything else. We used quite a bit. It was always heated, applied to all 3 of their bodies until they were glistening. It was his preference. If you felt you were too dry, he would let you know. You need to be shining. Diddy would urinate on Cassie himself. Sometimes at the same time, he directed a male prostitute to pee on her during the freak-offs. Sometimes Sean himself and the escort would urinate on me. Sean urinated at the same time. She said that once an escort peed in her mouth during the humiliating encounters, it was overwhelming. I choked. Too much urine in my mouth laid in a position on the floor that I couldn't easily get out of. She put up her hands to help him to get him to stop, but nothing happened. Cassie said that Diddy asked or tasked her with finding male escorts when she initially sourced through the classified company's Craigslist and Backpage. She said that she answered ads on Craigslist for male sex workers whom Combs preferred to be a black male with a large penis. And Cassie listed off the city's hotels and aliases she booked rooms under to set up for the freak-off sex marathons. The R&B singer told jurors the drugged-up sex sessions that she and Sean took part in occurred around the country: New York, Miami, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Las Vegas, as well as abroad in Spain and Turks and Caicos. Is that what it is? Caicos.
I don't know. Never heard of it.
Let's see.
He's sick.
He is. It just amazes me. She would book rooms under the aliases Jackie Starr, Frank Black, Frank White. Cassie named several members of Diddy's Inner Circle Tuesday, who she said helped set up the freak-off performances, including his trusted former chief of staff, Christina Coram. Ventura was asked to name some of Combs' trusted assistants during the time they were dating. She named Coram, Neil Dominique, David James. Jeez. She was also asked to name members of Combs' security detail who monitored her whereabouts. D-Rock, Bones, Uncle Paulie, Fahim, Malik. There's a lot of people, she responded. When later asked who stocked the hotel rooms during the freak-off, she responded assistants and security. Cassie described how Diddy's demeanor would suddenly change and his eyes would go black when he became violent towards her. It would just his look would just change over. He would become a different person. I wouldn't know what would happen. The best way to describe it, his eyes go black. The version that I was in love with was no longer there. She revealed her first freak-off was with a male stripper in Vegas, and that Diddy made her wear a masquerade mask and really high platform shoes. I was high. There wasn't too much feeling. I think it was a mixture of dirty and confusion, and like, okay, he's happy with me. I did something right. I just think that is so bizarre. The star prosecution witness said the voyeuristic sex session, which involved her having sex with a stranger as the rap mogul watched and masturbated, often occurred in a home he was renting in Los Angeles about 2 to 3 months after they started dating. Sean told me we would wear masks. I wore a masquerade mask and definitely an outfit from a sex store, hustler or something, with some real high platform shoes, dancing shoes, she said. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. I didn't know if we were going to do it more frequently because I was willing. I didn't know. Kathy said that he was wanted her to have a nickname for him and asked what she called her grandfather. He wanted me to have a nickname for him. He told me I called my grandfather, and asked me what I called my grandfather. I said I called him Pop Pop. She said he asked her to call him Dad. That is so weird. That is, I just don't understand. Then she screamed and cried for Sean not to do anything stupid when he left in the middle of the freak-off to go confront his rival, Suge Knight. She said we were in the middle of a coerced sex marathon at one of the Los Angeles homes, but on a break showing when Damon D-Rock Butler came in and told Combs that Suge Knight, a manslaughter convict and former Death Row Records producer, was at Mel's Drive-In diner. Combs quickly packed up and drove down there. This is going to come into the infamous killing, I think. I was crying, I was screaming, please don't do anything stupid. She testified that I was really nervous for him, what it meant, what they were going to do. Knight serving a 28-year prison sentence for killing a man he ran over with his pickup in 2014. Diddy's staff would take away Cassie's belongings if he disapproved of her, ask if anything else besides snatching her car keys and kicking her out of the apartment that he would take away, and she replied, my self-confidence. Cassie told the jury that one time she was handed a gun by Sean's security guards as they were going into a club in downtown Los Angeles, and while she was high on mushrooms, I was freaking out the whole time that it was going off. She said that she had the firearm in her bag for an hour and a half, and all the while she was terrified. I have no idea why I had a loaded gun. Combs kept handguns in safes at home. The guns were taken out here and there, and I always felt it was a bit of a scare tactic. Cassie told jurors that Sean controlled even the smallest details of her appearance because I had to look a certain way for freak-offs. For example, her nails had to be painted white with a French tip, and she needed to be tanned, she testified. And in general, Bad Boy Records founder consistently commented on her looks and tried to curate how she looked, how she appeared. He would say anything from, I look too Mexican with my hair like that, and have my nails done a certain way. Appearance is very important to him, my appearance. Combs would tell her to keep her body in shape and even discuss getting breast implants. So it's here. I mean, basically, he's a freak. That guy, oh man, that's just unreal. I can't imagine. I mean,
I wonder how Mama feels.
I don't know. I just know that I hope he gets what he deserves. I mean, to treat anybody like that, it's just unbelievable. And I mean, I know that women feel they have no other option, but they do have other options. I mean, she could have left, probably. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to judge her because, you know, knowing that you care about somebody, it becomes a situation where it's easy to say, oh, I would have done this, but it's, you know, it's not really reality when it comes down to it. So I feel bad for her, but I just think she let it go on a lot longer than she should have. So, all right, enough of that. We have our ditty for the week.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope, yeah, I am trying to understand. I mean, I realize, I mean, I messed around with a little BDSM when I was younger, but I never did anything that wasn't consensual. So I just kind of think that it's, I can't say she deserves it, but I feel that she didn't have to stay with him that long. I think that she liked some of the things, like the money and stuff like that. She probably enjoyed that part of it, but she probably didn't enjoy, and chances are her fame is because of him. I mean, she probably would have never been successful. I don't know how successful she is, but she probably would have never been successful in her field if it weren't for him.
That's
so,
right.
So she used him for that, but was it worth it? I don't know. Yeah, Christine said she stayed 17 years in abuse. I mean, I get it, and I can't really speak on that because I wasn't in that. I was abused, but I was never abused by one person for that long. And the abuse I had was not sexual; it was just abuse, you know. So I can't really speak on that, but I feel for her. That's about the best I can do. I mean, I can't relate to it because it's not, you know, it's not something I would have ever been involved in. So I feel bad for her, but to a certain degree. So, and we don't know how, although we do know how bad she got beat in that one video. So we don't, I mean, I don't think that she's exaggerating from what she's telling us, because even if she was, just that one video shows that she was in a bad situation. And chances are she was really scared. And that guy was a powerful man when he was free. You know, he got away with a lot of crap. And so I guess from that perspective, you know, I don't think anybody deserves to go through what she went through. So I'll leave it at that. Any final words?
Good show.
Yeah, very versatile show. We've covered everything from sexcapades to...
Except we didn't cover Jesus.
Oh, do you want to do that quickly? Because I'll forget it by next week.
Save it for next week.
Okay, all right. I'll try to do another one so that we have two for next week.
Okay.
But if not, we have that one.
I'll get Breaking the Band done this week.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, for those of you that want to memorize this map, this is how the United States should have been named. Ohio all over the place. Dakota, you know. Oreo. We have Oreo there. That place could also be Ohio. This is Square. Now we know where Squaresville is. And so, anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys next week when who knows what we'll have on next week, because we're definitely doing some crazy stuff on here, some things I've never imagined doing. So I will talk to you guys next week, I think. Oh, there we go.
Still having fun.